Hey everyone, Kathy the Vegan Prepper here, and I'm going to be showing you my Costco haul today. Do-do-do, do-do-do-do, vegan prepper. Do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do, vegan prepper. Okay, so here's the full shot for anybody who wants to just pause it and look and then leave. I got you. It's cool. But for those of you who'd like to stick around and hear a little bit about each thing, let's go ahead and get into it. Starting as usual with all of the frozen items so that I can go ahead and get them in my freezer and then I'll be right back. So up here we have a 5-pound bag of organic white sweet corn, 2 of these 3-pound bags of riced cauliflower, 2 4-pound bags of broccoli, frozen broccoli, 1 of the 4-pound bag of the kind of multicolored cauliflower. And we've got, this is a brand new thing to me. I just happened to see it. It is instant boba. And so I bought this because my sons have recently gotten into buying vegan boba from a local business that has just opened up like in the last year. And that's great. We love to support local businesses and stuff. But my oldest boy is also working on budgeting and saving money because he's going across the country for an internship this summer for school. It's super exciting. But anyway, this is just so that he can have hopefully a treat that he really loves without it having to cost nearly as much as it does at the local business place. Not that we won't ever take him, but this was just to see if he could get his fix without spending like $6 a drink. So this is obviously a lot cheaper. So that was just something I picked up for him. This batch of vegetable spring rolls, they are vegan and we absolutely love these. So I'm going to actually kind of hide these in the freezer and not tell anybody that we have them for whatever upcoming parties or upcoming family fun time. We can pull these out and cook those because yeah, we really love them and they're very inexpensive for what they are. And yeah, it just ends up being a fun treat for us on days that we want those kinds of things. And so yeah, I'm pretty sure that is all of the frozen stuff. So like I said, I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back and first up is this, which is probably the deal I'm most excited about for this shopping trip. It is the Tom's toothpaste, a 4-pack. And these, if I'm remembering correctly, were only $10 for a 4-pack of full-sized tubes of Tom's toothpaste, which is kind of insane. So I did go ahead and buy 2 of those. I'm kind of thrilled to pieces that my boys just ran out of toothpaste, so I was able to get that screaming deal. Very happy, because like I wouldn't have even been in that section of the store to see this if I weren't already there, you know, looking for toothpaste. And then we just got ourselves a bag of Gala apples. So this was an incredibly good price, but I don't like to buy my apples at Costco or any large quantities because they just tend to be totally bruised. I think it's just by virtue of the system and how giant the piles are, and I just feel like they're always bruised. They're usually tasty, but yeah, anyway, we just have to go through them kind of quickly. And I typically try to stick to like Whole Foods or Sprouts or other, you know, places where I can get some fresh produce and I can pick each individual one and make sure that I'm not getting nothing but bruised apples. But anyway, still, we want apples, so it's fine. But okay, I got 2 1.5-pound bags of the power greens, which I really appreciate for smoothies. We do a lot of smoothies in our house, but also for just like chopping up and putting in soups or putting in, you know, whatever dish we happen to have that day. If we're having a hot dish, like a hot bowl, grain bowl with, you know, quinoa and beans or whatever, we can chop this up as a base in the bottom and then put the greens or the hot things over that. I do have some salad greens I bought, which I'll get to in a second, but I prefer these because the salad greens kind of just get too wilty. So I still will use those in situations like that when I'm doing a hot, like almost like a hot salad. Okay, 2 bags of quinoa. I tend to pick this up almost every time I go to Costco. I get 1 or 2 of them, and it's the 4.5-pound bag. The reason I really appreciate this particular quinoa is that it is pre-washed, and so I don't have to deal with washing it. And I make a gluten-free pancake mix, which involves blending up some of this quinoa, and I don't have to rinse the quinoa first. Whenever I've tried to use unrinsed quinoa as a quinoa flour, it's just super bitter. You can't get rid of that taste. So I use pre-rinsed quinoa to make my own quinoa flour. I could technically rinse it myself, and then dry it, but I just no, okay? So, then I've got 2 flats of organic mangoes. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so excited about these. They're already kind of soft. I am hoping that we're starting to get into good mango season. This is like my favorite time of year are the cooler months because it gets so miserably hot here. But I do really appreciate summer for, as we're getting into the hot months here and it's just insufferable, we are at least flooded with incredible produce. And so that is the season of fruit in our house. We just eat nothing but fruit almost. Not true, but like, you know what I mean? Like we eat tons of fruit during those times. I got some Heavenly Hunks cookies again for my son, one of my sons, especially. This is just his favorite thing on earth. This is my younger son, actually, like my older son. I got him like the boba, even though the younger son can have some too. And then this is mainly because Elliot's favorite thing on earth is these things. So yeah, everyone else can have some too, but like I just get those because he loves them. This is because I have reopened my shop, my business, and I'm just so busy right now, taking care of so many things that the bread making has really gone by the wayside, and I hate it, but I did go ahead and buy a little bit of bread this week, just to sort of help us get through. We do really love sandwiches. The boys love toast, and I debate whether or not whole grain is more important. Like which one of these things is more important to me, whole grain or sourdough? Because they don't have a whole grain sourdough there. And I lean towards sourdough because it's much more easily digestible. It has a lower glycemic index and just all that. So even though it's not whole grain, it's sourdough. So I still feel okay about that. Obviously whole grain sourdough would be ideal, but they don't have that. I'm the one that makes that, but not lately, hence this bread purchase. So we've also got a 2-pound container of strawberries. Hopefully they're sweet and good. They smell really good. But the strawberries from Costco kind of always smell delicious and then taste super sour. That's actually my main way of picking good strawberries pretty much everywhere but Costco. They smell like a dessert. If you pick up the plastic thing and you just sniff them, if they smell just like a strawberry cake or something that you want to dive into, typically those are the ones that are good, and they're usually darker. And then of course that also typically means that they are needing to be eaten really quickly. But when they're that good, it's not a problem. So we'll see if these are actually sweet or not. I've got myself a 5-pound bag of mandarins. These are just some of our favorite snacks. We love mandarins, so I don't have a lot to say about that. I have 2 containers of tomato paste. They have gone up in price finally. It's taken a while. They were $6 before. They always used to be $5.99 if I'm remembering correctly. I might not be remembering correctly, but I'm pretty sure I am. And so now they are $6.99, but that's still an insanely good price for 12 cans of organic tomato paste. And it's still the same size, still like the same size container. It's always 6 ounces. So tomato paste is we just use it so much in so many of our recipes. I made this switch years ago. It was like a budget thing and a space thing to switch to tomato paste over diced tomatoes, over tomato sauce, because while obviously I can't turn this into diced tomatoes, for my recipes and for my experience, it really does seem like a can of tomato paste plus like a couple, 1 or 2 cups of water will replace 2 cans of diced tomatoes in a recipe. And so it just ends up being way cheaper because the diced tomatoes, you only get 8 to a flat and they're not $6.99. They're like more than that. And then tomato sauce, the same things. You can easily make tomato sauce out of tomato paste, but look at, like, for me, also it's the space savings. So there's 12 of them in there and they only take up that much space. So yeah, every time I go, I get tomato paste. Adam kind of makes fun of me about the tomato paste. Even though we are preppers, he makes fun of me for my tomato paste thing. But for me, it's just because, like I said, we use them in so many of our recipes and I just always get them, but he's a bit more on board now. Isn't this funny? I feel like I have to turn you around really fast so that it's not so like I'm just like talking at the tomato paste. Isn't it funny how even in a prepping household, like he's on board, and like both of us, well, I hate to say on board like it's only my idea. It's like both of us want, you know, food security for our families. But he even was like, why do we need this too much tomato paste? Because I have kind of a lot of tomato paste. I feel like a little embarrassed actually, but I don't, oh look, I'm all crooked. I don't have nearly as much tomato paste as I used to, because Costco didn't have tomato paste for like months. It went away. And so he finally kind of realized with the tomato paste, especially because, like I said, how much we use it, we ended up going through so much of the tomato paste we had on hand because I had stocked up. And I don't even know how long. It was like 5 or 6 months, I feel, that Costco didn't even have any tomato paste, because every time I go, I look for it. So it's just funny, like how even in like a small kind of like, that wasn't like a crisis. That wasn't, I think like it came back with new packaging. I don't know if they had to switch manufacturers or switch something, but it just sort of goes to show that even if it's not like a big crisis, that if there is an item that you use all of the time for your family, it is a really good idea to stock up, even if it's not about SHTF or anything, because if for whatever reason you end up losing access to that item, if you have a stock, you can still have everything that you use that thing for until the thing like comes back to the store. So that was a really interesting kind of real life lesson on that. And then one time we went to Costco recently and he got me 4 tomato pastes and I didn't even ask. So that was like, oh, it was like better than getting flowers. Anyway, okay, let's get back to the actual haul. Okay, so tomato paste. So good. So I have heard, like many people, that there's potentially going to be an avocado shortage. And avocado is not the kind of thing that you can get and store up a lot of. So we do enjoy these sometimes. There's just basically avocado and sea salt. There's definitely a lot of packaging and waste involved, but these are freezable. It actually will say on there, use or freeze by a certain date. So I haven't ever tried freezing these and then defrosting them and using them, but I'm going to be trying that. And if they still turn out well, I'm probably going to go ahead and go back and get a few more of these just to make sure that we still have some avocado on hand for avocado toast. It's like really serious in our house. So anyway, I also got myself some organic fair trade cacao powder. I have wanted to order it actually from Azure Standard, like for the last month or two, but they ran out, and I don't know if they only ran out of my size or what, but I did see this at Costco and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and grab it here. And then, yeah, hopefully it's super yummy. I'm sure it is, but I very much appreciate that it is fair trade. So we got a few cucumbers. This is just how Costco sells them. Lately, I don't know what's going on. It's probably just, you know, food supply issues, right? That the cucumbers at like Whole Foods and Sprouts, and other places I've been going, the organic cucumbers are like moldy already in the store. Like they've got little white spots. They're just not good anymore. So even though I don't like getting all of this plastic, I mean, look at all the plastic. I'm definitely not perfect. It's just, but when you see the prices coming over the screen, I think it kind of explains itself that for our family and how much food I need to buy for us, I can't do like a perfectly zero waste package free shopping for our groceries, because it would just be way too expensive. It's actually cheaper to buy things packaged, which is kind of sad. But anyway, whatever. Well, just moving right along. These cucumbers looked really delicious and good, but in my experience, I will say they tend to go bad really quickly. I think just like in the plastic. So I'm going to be pulling them out of the plastic and just cutting them today and getting them ready for, we'll do, some of them will be slices and some of them will be cubes for snacking and for salads. So anyway, I got these, and then hopefully they're good. If they're good and if they last longer, cut up in the fridge like I'm planning to do, then I will purchase more the next time I go back. But I just want to see if they just go bad fast or if it's only if they're left in the plastic. But I don't know that yet, so we're going to see. Okay, a couple packages of tofu because, you know, vegan. And also a couple of packages. Here's what I was talking about the salad greens. And so this one was kind of, I was going to talk about this with you guys. They are only good until March 1st. So today is 2/22/22. So that is, you know, just a few days away, but I'm virtually positive that we can get through these in that amount of time. And then the other thing that I wanted to mention was with these greens, when you shop, it's really good to shop and find the dates. So like this one was best if used by February 28th. So that's only 6 days away, which is no problem. But I couldn't get both of them only 6 days away, probably. Even as much as we go through greens, I don't think we would have gone through 2 of these in only 6 days, especially with salad greens for salads. So I also rummaged through the bags and found one that's good until March 5th. So that gives us a little bit more time. So it's just something to keep in mind that if you are buying greens, and this isn't only Costco, but like bagged greens or whatever, that pay attention to the dates because they can legally leave them out. And of course, we don't want food waste and all of that, but they can leave them out up until like the day that they are going bad. Like they could have had February 22nd, 2022 greens out. And I've done that before. You get home and you're like, oh my gosh, it's today is the day. And they kind of can stay good for a day or two beyond that, but a lot of times they don't, especially around here in summer. That date usually is only 1 or 2 days. Actually, 1 or 2 days before is kind of when you need to get through it before they start going slimy. I think it's because they get warm off the truck. So anyway, it's just something to keep in mind. Palak tofu, or like palak paneer, but with tofu, is my go-to for using up greens really fast. If you realize that you're on like the last day of your greens and you need to use up a ton of greens really fast, palak paneer type recipe, and like I said, use tofu, will go through a ton of greens. You just blend it up into a sauce, and that's kind of my favorite way to use up greens really fast. Also, I got 2 containers of this. In our house, we call it bleeping sauce. So it's the bleeping sauce. This is again, my oldest boy. This is his favorite. Actually, it's funny. He just came home from school, and that's kind of why I paused for a second there. And as he walked in, he goes, oh, Mom, did you get bleeping sauce? And as he saw it, because he knows, and this is his favorite. So it was on sale. So I went ahead and grabbed 2. We will definitely go through them both by the time they go bad. These are insanely handy to have on hand. These packets of chana masala, just, quickly over potatoes, or actually that's probably what we're going to do for lunch today because it's really late and I'm taking so much time doing this. So like over potatoes or rice or quinoa or whatever, this makes an excellent, super fast, I have no time for anything kind of lunch. And so I like to keep a few of those on hand for those purposes. These are just chilies that we use in many of our recipes. The 2 main ones are my chili recipe and my Kathy's Black Bean Green Chili Soup of Legend and Renown. Yes, that is what the recipe is called. I don't have either one of those on the channel yet, but I will. But these go in those, and they're just, kind of a staple in our house. So I try to make sure I have enough of those on hand at all times. Not as much as the tomato paste, but I make sure I always have that as well. So yeah, produce season is upon us. I haven't found watermelons yet that look good. But cantaloupe has been really good. So I've been getting cantaloupe. So we have some cantaloupe for our family. And that is also kind of a tip for budget wise. Like if you want to eat a lot more produce, and it happens to be summertime, and you don't know like what to buy for your family. A lot of times, if you buy something like a watermelon or a cantaloupe, it ends up being quite a lot of fruit for not quite so much money. The other great thing about them is they last a long time. I mean, not forever, obviously, but like a week or 2. You don't necessarily have to get through them super fast like you do like with strawberries. So that's kind of a tip from me. But like for instance, I will cut one of these up, just cut it in half, scoop out the seeds, and then wedge it. And then I don't do anything else. Although I do always scrub the outside with water and soap because I don't know, it gets all over my cutting board. And I don't know, I just I do the same thing with my watermelon. Before I cut my watermelon, I wash the outside with soap and water. But I cut these up and I just leave the wedges sitting on the counter and they will disappear like within an hour or 2 because people just walk by and grab it and eat it. And that's kind of, I guess, the point of doing that, because it really is, it seems too simple, but whatever's out and just like ready, people will grab. So over even like chips. So I do have chips this time. Sage saw them. And she just couldn't stop talking about them. Mom, I want colors chips is what she calls it. And so I know for a fact that these have nothing to do with vegetables, but, yeah, I don't know. Every now and then, yeah, we like a treat. So I told her we could get 1 bag. And so we did. And everyone's going to be really happy about that, especially Mr. Vegan Prepper. These are his absolute favorite chips on earth. So they had a screaming deal on sauerkraut. So this, gosh, I'm kind of debating between the toothpaste and this, but no, I think still the toothpaste is the best deal I got today, but these were only $6 each. And so I went ahead and grabbed these. If you do ever shop at a Whole Foods, you've seen like the tiny packets of these, and they are $6 too, or in that range. And this is a 50-ounce container, and it was $6. And so I know that I can make my own sauerkraut, but my gosh, I mean, yeah. Okay, so also I need desperately a new baking sheet because one of mine has just completely rusted out, and the second one is kind of on its way after, 10 or 12 years of use. It's getting to be time to replace them. So these guys are they're a lot smaller. So here is a flat of soda. And so it's obviously very small, but I actually was suddenly like, you know what? That might be kind of cool to be able to do a smaller amount like I ever do. But, for things like lunches at home with just Sage and me or whatever, to do smaller amounts, or things that maybe don't cook the same amount of time. Wait, how did I have this? Okay, like that apparently. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do the smaller ones and see how I feel about them. And yeah, hopefully that wasn't a giant mistake, but I just desperately need it. I have only had one cookie sheet now for close to a month, and it just does not work in my life. So I need more cookie sheets like now. So I went ahead and bought those. And I have been looking because I want solid stainless steel, but apparently unless I order from Layman's or something, I'm not going to get it. So I just went ahead and went with this one. So I got 2 flats of sparkling water. They aren't on sale at all, but we just, we don't really drink soda in our house anymore, unless it's Zevia. But this is just a nice treat. We like to have it in the evening, and it just sort of, I don't know, it's like a bubbly, nice thing. Definitely not everybody is into it, but we are. So I went ahead and just grabbed 2 because hopefully I won't need to go to Costco again for quite a while, and then that will keep us good on that. So hopefully you enjoyed that. That was helpful at all. And let me know in the comments down below what you think, if you were surprised. So I did put the prices on the screen. I'm going to when I edit the video, but for continuity's sake in this video, as I'm filming, I did, like when you're watching, I did put prices on the things. I'm a little hyper today, I guess. And so I did put prices. And so I'm kind of curious to see what you guys think, if that was if these were good deals, or if is food more expensive where you are? Do you have, I'm crooked again, my gosh. Do you have anything, any comments on that? And I don't know, I guess that's all. If there's anything that was particularly helpful, or if I mentioned anything, like the cucumbers, for instance. Do you know about those cucumbers and if they last well as long as you keep them cut up in the fridge out of their plastic? And yeah, I guess that's it. So I'm gonna go ahead and make lunch. And yeah, as always, I hope the rest of your day is good and your life stays wonderful. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys later. Bye. Okay, so for anyone who was curious about the boba, here's what it looks like, prepared as directed. All right, try it out and see what you think. Even though you can't reach the bottom of the glass. I guess that's the only thing. The straws are pretty darn short.
So you get a shorter cup next time. Oh, that's good.
Is it good? Legitimately?
Oh, yeah. Oh, the boba is so sweet. Oh, I love it.
Oh, good. I'm glad. So you're not just being sweet. You do love it.
No, I love this. I want this all the time now.
So it's added to the list now. Costco.
We need to go back to Costco.
Bleeping sauce and boba every time now. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, good. I'm glad you like it, hun.